Cover the Sith relics. Alright. Oh, I gotta head deeper into the cave. Alright, fine. You're right. And that was one of the great things about SWTOR for me too, was I was there at launch. You know, if the game really is able to, and I really hope it does, because I really do enjoy the game. If the game's able to make that epic comeback, and you know, and it not that it's gonna be the WoW killer. I don't ever want that. You want competition in fields, because then competition causes the genre to grow. Because then both of the games are going to want to come out with different things and different content that makes their games better and makes people want to play their games. And it helps innovate and drive creativity from the developers to make their games better. And I really liked playing Star Wars from the this game right from the beginning. Right, servers came on, everyone was level 1. And that was a really awesome feeling for me, because you know, nobody knew what was going on in the game. Everyone was new. Everyone was newbies. You know, you had people that had played in the beta and were a little bit more seasoned than others, but you know, there was still so much in the game to learn and so much in the game to discover that, you know, it was all fresh for everybody. And I actually intentionally tried not to watch a whole lot of end game content. I really don't feel like I'm supposed to be here. I feel like my class quest taken me elsewhere. I'll go ahead and pick up these quests while I'm here. But it's almost midnight, so I'm gonna wrap up my final thoughts here. And anyway, when the game came out, it was really new and it was really exciting. And that was a lot of fun. But progressing through the game and then getting to the end game, and a lot of hardcore MMO people know that, you know, when you hit level cap, that's when the game starts. You know, that's when you really start getting into the game, and that's when you really start grinding out for that gear and grinding for all the stuff that you need to start being able to do the end game content and be competitive and player versus player. And me being a player versus player, a heavy player versus player person, like, that's what I enjoy the most. And being on a low population server without having cross server PvP was not fun, because standing on the fleet, which is basically this game's version of Stormwind or Orgrimmar, you know, the capital city, you spend all your time just running around waiting for a Q pop, and it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. And but like I said, I really want this game to excel. I really want this game to do well, and I really want this game to get some air under its wings and really fly and really excel and be the game that everyone wanted it to be, and bring a lot of that player base back. I'm sure I talked about this earlier in the stream, but I talked about how they started out with, or EA's first release talked about how they had 1.7 million subscribers. That's a good number, because EA originally made a statement saying that they basically needed 500,000 subscribers just to break even on the game's costs. That's how many subscribers they needed to break even on the costs of the game. And their first statement said 1.7, and that was great. So that means they had, you know, over 3 times the number of subscribers that they needed to pay all the expenses for developing this game. That's great. And then the next statement said they lost 400,000 subscribers. And that's where it hurts. That's where it really hurts, because I'm actually going to start doing something interesting in the game.
I've sent 3 separate expeditions into the Dark Temple. Not one has returned. I can't say for sure what's going on, but people who go in there, they don't come back.
And here I thought bravery was a requirement for the Imperial military.
Maybe if you think being scared of something that kills Sith is unreasonable. You can survive the Dark Temple. I beg you to do me, and more importantly, the Empire, a favor. The expeditions I sent in were looking for specific data. I can spare the manpower, they were slaves mostly, but the data is essential.
You don't have the authority to give me orders.
You're absolutely right. But please consider that you'll be doing a valuable service for the Empire, and you'll be extremely well rewarded. All I'm asking is for you to find the data the expedition collected. If all you find is bodies, bring back their data pads. This information is vital to future construction on Dromund Kaas. Please help.
I don't see why I should stick my neck out.
I should have known it would be too good to be true. I'll mark the location the expedition last signaled from on your map. It's the best I can do.
Told this guy I didn't want to do his stupid quest, and he gave it to me anyway. Asshole.
At last, the Dark Council has answered my petitions and sent a powerful fighting Sith to help secure the temple.
I'm just here to check the plumbing.
Of course, I've been ignored again. Stupid old man. If you're here, however, you must have the authority to enter the Dark Temple. You could still save this planet.
What are you babbling about, old man?
You're a brave one, aren't you? Or is it that you sense my weakness? But not everything grows weaker with age. The Dark Temple is ancient, built during a previous incarnation of our empire. 1,000 years ago, our own emperor buried his enemies here. These enemies remain powerful, even in death, which is why the temple was sealed. But now, something terrible has happened.
Some idiot went and woke them up.
With the Emperor's attention elsewhere, a group of ambitious but ignorant Sith thought to gain power by raiding the temple. They didn't find the relics they sought. Instead, they awoke an ancient Sith Lord, Lord Calig, and their expedition plunged into madness.
If I go in, will I go mad too?
Not necessarily. Many of the troops sent in after were simply slaughtered. Because Lord Calig died by ambush, I believe he awakened unaware of his own death, and his expectations became reality for those around him. His power overwhelmed all inside the temple, and even now the workers plot wars against each other, believing themselves Sith Lords, and drawing terrible power from Calig himself.
I'm quickly losing interest.
You are lucky I have no other to turn to in this dark time. There are still more ancient Sith Lords whose spirits lay dormant in the temple. If the ancient Sith Lords are woken by the violence within, they could overrun Dromund Kaas.
I was just thinking of getting off this planet.
If the other ancients awake and escape, there will be nowhere in the galaxy safe from their wrath. I have studied all of the burial chambers within. Each was made with the same ancient design, one we can exploit. If you fuse the 500-kilogram hinges on each tomb door, even a violent assault should not be able to wake the ancients.
I don't see why I should bother.
There is nobody else. Imagine the glory, being the one who prevented the Emperor's greatest enemies from rising. The team I sent in earlier was using a massive metal torch, effective but slow, I'm afraid. They did not make it far. The torch must be recovered, and the doors of the ancients sealed.
Man, that was a long-winded intro for a quest. Blah, blah, blah. Alright, so this is how you get to the next set of groups anyway. Alright, time to fly back and put myself in the cantina for my rested bonus.
Ready for departure. Enjoy your stay.
So, yeah, BioWare/EA has some big choices to make and what direction they want to take this game. And depending on those choices is gonna alter whether or not the game is able to pick back up steam again or slowly fades into the night. And that's just basically how it's going to go down. And it's really kind of sad because if the game ends up not being able to pick back up steam and continue to and start growing again and getting more subscribers and getting back up to the amount of players that we want to see in this game, I feel like a lot of time and energy and a lot of good effort would have been put into this game for nothing, because you don't make games like these. This isn't like Mass Effect, or this isn't like Dragon Age, where obviously, of course, those are both other BioWare games. But let's face it, you play that game once, maybe twice, to see some of the other options, and then you don't look at it again until BioWare makes an announcement that says, hey, we released some DLC, come play our game again. Come spend $15 more on this game so that you can play more content. And then you go, oh, hell yeah, I want to pay $15 to play that game again. And then that's about it. Whereas an MMO is an entirely different game altogether, where you're going to spend all of your time and all of your energy at the end of the game, continuing grinding and continuing to do some of the same content over and over again, or what have you, to be able to continue to progress. And it's a much slower build to be able to do all the stuff that the game has to offer. It's a completely different mindset, and it's one of those things where you have to log in, on a daily basis or every other day to keep current with the game and make sure that you're doing your dailies and getting money and playing PvP and for PvPers. And when the game first came out and it was all based on the Battle Master bags, the only way to get those bags to get the highest tier of gear was to do your PvP dailies. That was the only way to do it. And so, if you were an avid PvPer and you wanted that, then you got online every day to do your dailies because you wanted the gear. You wanted that gear. So, I think some of it has to come down to also BioWare kind of has to stop treating this like Mass Effect and stop treating it like BioWare and really start putting a lot of focus in that end game. And I know their content drops in 1.1 and 1.2 have only released new raids and a new war zone and end game content. But I think BioWare really needs to buckle down and say, hey, this is what's going to keep This is what's going to keep MMO players wanting to continue to play our game long term, and this is what we need to focus on. So, anyway, I've rambled on a lot for tonight. I appreciate everyone coming in and tuning into the Let's Play. I've had a lot of fun. If you'd like, go ahead and follow. It sends out a Twitter on my Twitter account when I'm going to start streaming. All this stuff's going to be posted up on my YouTube account. So if you want to go back and watch previous episodes, or the next time you tune in, you see, hey, he's a lot further along in the storyline than he was last time. You can go back and watch some of the older stuff. I'm working out all the kinks. I just started, and I'm really new to the whole Let's Play experience. This is my first ever Let's Play, and I'm really excited about it. Leave comments, leave questions, leave me constructive criticism or criticism of any kind. Anything that'll help me improve what I'm doing is appreciated. Even if you send me a message and say, hey man, I'd really like to see more of this out of your Let's Plays, or can you do this a little bit more, or do that a little bit more, let me know, and let me know what I can do to make things better. Or say, hey, can you put a link to some of this stuff, or can anything, technical advice that you've got that can help me out. Anything's appreciated. So like I said, thank you everyone for coming out. It's been a lot of fun. Next time, get some viewers. I'd really like for some people to get on Skype with me so that I can actually have a voice-to-voice dialogue